problem, and so forth. You get the idea. Now, functional medicine takes a little bit different approach, and functional medicine takes the approach on trying to understand how everything works together in the body. So instead of having specific system problems, you have a functional problem, and the goal is to optimize our body's function to fight disease. And you'll hear me use that word optimize a couple of times. So just know that that's I think one of the things that Avicay has done is, and then what I also think they've done is they've taken a page out of the functional medicine playbook and to design a core group of digestive products to optimize the digestive system. And this in turn has the potential to help many disorders, mainly GI and autoimmune disease. Now, I'd be careful to say that, and when we're talking to people, I'd be careful to say that really our products don't treat anything, but they do provide essential nutrients and components necessary to optimize the gut function and other symptoms. Now, and the reason I'm not saying probably a whole lot about the digestive products that are there, because Chanel Jepsen does an excellent job in explaining all of this in her seminar, and would highly recommend people that have not listened to it or watched it to do so. And I would also say that getting to meet her in Dallas a couple of months ago and hearing some of her ideas and her philosophy on research, she is absolutely spot on from the scientific and nutritional and medical point of view. It's interesting. I did ask her. I said when we went out to dinner later, and I asked her if I said, "Well, did you find Avicay, or did Avicay find you?" And she says, "Avicay found me." And so I thought, well, there's another plus for the corporation to have the foresight into hiring her, because she is phenomenal in her knowledge of this business, and phenomenal in nutritional knowledge, and I know that that she's going to take this company very, very far as helping with not only products that are going to help us and help a lot of people as far as disease processes goes, but anyway, to further forward this business. And I know I've spent a lot of time and effort researching a lot of details about all of these products and some of the science behind them, and hopefully I haven't bored you to death listening to that. But so hopefully what I've done in the last 15 minutes is to sort of reaffirm your belief in Avicay, that Avicay is on the right track. And when it comes to research and development, you can rest assured that everything that they do, that they say, that they're working on is backed up with sound science. And I thank you for your time. I appreciate everything. Thanks, Rob.
Hey, Ken, thank you. I appreciate that. And that should be really, really good for you guys to have been able to hear. And I've been threatening Ken he's going to have to do this now for a long time. But and you know, sometimes when you're a doctor, you got to be real careful what you say, and obviously. And but the exciting thing is, and Ken and I've had this discussion a lot of times, is really I think this is this area of product that we've got with the gut health is kind of, and the combination of the whole package put together, we're kind of the leading edge of that, maybe prospectively from a company standpoint. You know, I've been talking obviously about these products to a lot of different people, and a lot of people have said, oh yeah, I found this product. Maybe it's the probiotics, or I found this, or you know, there's some different products out there that they recommend. There's a drink that you drink to help with digestive, like our digestive enzyme. But no one that I've talked to this point yet has a kind of beginning to end complete system like we have. And because I know that this is kind of the edge of where technology is going in medicine, they've discovered there's so much that is supported from our gut health that I just wanted Ken to be able to give you guys a little bit of a medical perspective and some of the things that he's seen and some of the things that him and I have talked about from the perspective of our products and the research and the clinical background that, you know, the testing and the clinical background that we have behind it. Dr. Copeland, obviously with our Bliss and all the research he's done on that. And not to forget the balance and all the stuff that it does as far as balancing our pH. And so anyway, I'm learning more and more about it. And the more I learn, it just fires me up. And I've been hearing so many different testimonies about not just our gut health, but certainly some of those have blown me away. And I have a good friend right now who they're on the edge of diagnosing celiac disease. And I don't know a thing about celiac disease, but I asked Chanel, what about celiac? She says, our products are going to help it, dramatically help it. And so we have, you know, we have something that's really unique and exciting. And so I hope you guys see it that way. And I hope you'll continue to learn and be good students of it and gain the information. There's resources online, and they're actually creating a PowerPoint where every one of you, you know, I know a lot of the gals are doing this, and I think it's because us men have issues with sharing that kind of stuff. But the women seem to be way more mature about sharing issues of digestion with each other. And so I don't know if it's just, but maybe the women will have to take a little bit of the lead on some of this product knowledge and some of the education part of it. But there's a PowerPoint now where you can actually do the presentation yourself, where, you know, you get several people in a room that have at least enough interest that they want to hear about that, and you can actually do the PowerPoint, and as you go you'll get better and better at it, but the PowerPoint will take you through it without having to do anything yourself. And so I'm hoping that a lot of people out there will say, I'm going to take this up and start teaching it yourselves right in your own communities, right in your own businesses, because I think we have there's a lot of potential that we haven't tapped into yet. So those resources are online, and check with your support team, check on the back office, and you can see all that stuff. So with that, I'm going to set us up for our next speakers. And these guys I know really well. I've known them for a long time. And I think probably the best way to describe my relationship with Jan and Raelene, I'm going to go ahead and unmute Jan. But I guess the best way for me to describe my relationship with Jan is, you know, he's been my best friend for a long, long time. And Jan is one of those guys who absolutely he's a positive and an encouraging and maybe one of the hardest workers I've ever been around. And, you know, it's fun when you have somebody that, you know, no matter what you do or say or mistake you make, he's still going to be your best friend, and he's still going to be in your corner fighting with you. And so with that, I think, Jan Raelene, you guys are there. We'd love to have you join us and take over here. I've got you unmuted. So hopefully, do you guys want the hosting ability, Jan?
Oh, no, you just go ahead. We'll cue you what to do.
Okay.
Remember, you're the techie. I'm the old construction worker.
Yeah, well, I'm not a techie, so, but go ahead. You've got the spot here. I'm going to mute myself, and you guys.
Okay.
Hi, everybody.
How y'all doing out there? Boy, I'm honored that Rob let us on here today. We don't want to blow anybody out or anything like that. Like I said, I'm from a construction background, so in order to do this, what did I have to do? I had to change my vocabulary, number one.
And his attitude.
And my attitude. Shave a little bit off. And anyway, we've been having fun today, you guys, and we're going to continue to do that tonight with you. So if you see us a little loose out here, we've been free for almost 30 years now, and we've just been having fun doing what we like to do. And the one thing I want to get across, I've jotted a few things down here I'm going to go over with you, but before I do that, I'm going to introduce Raelene here. She's my favorite wife. Of course, she's my only wife.
I guess.
But anyway, I'm going to give her the platform, the floor. Yeah.
Whatever.
And anyway, we have had fun today. We've been with the corporate people. We've been with,
We've been with a bunch of excited IBOs, independent business owners.
with the president, the CEO, and Randy and Val, and a bunch of the silvers and up. And that video that Rob was talking about, oh my gosh, it's going to be so awesome. It's unbelievable. They got one now, but they're even putting another one out that's going to be better. But I'm going to turn it over to Raelene and just give her the floor, and then I'll come back.
Yep, what we did today was a get together. I know that sounds funny, but it was so informative today. And Rob talked about a PowerPoint. They just put a brand new PowerPoint that was downloaded on the Avasay app today. So you guys all might want to take a look at that and download it to your phone so you can share it with people. But it's the download that walks you through the whole gut health. And it's really good. And, you know, it's so good that they've been doing these now for a couple of months, and 27.5% of the registrations for the previous month, August, was Love Your Gut Kits. That to me speaks volumes. And I want to encourage all of you to, you know, get in on it, because it's really exciting, you know, and it's not hard to do. I went with Valerie, and she did one, and she had never done one before, but all she did was run the slides and read the slides, and everybody there registered and ordered product. So that's pretty amazing. I mean, and if you want your business to really grow and flourish, then I encourage each and every one of you to get familiar with the whole program and knowing what the products do. And they've got, you know, brand new product brochures and lean and clean, and they give you a wealth of information. If you pick some of those up, I mean, you'll be an expert just by reading the information that's in the catalogs. But the get-togethers are just so exciting. I just can't even tell you how excited I am about it. I hope you all are taking care of your GI tracts. And, you know, like Rob was saying, the women are more open about talking about poop. I mean, as terrible as that sounds, I guess it's maybe because we change diapers and stuff, and men think they're going to break out with some kind of disease if they change a diaper. But it's not hard to talk to people about it. And you're going to find that once you start visiting with people about their gut health, that the majority of people actually do have a real problem, and we can really help them. Everything. I mean, from eczema to heartburn, we have the answers. And people, when they have distress like that, they want a resolution to it. They don't want to have to always have a stomach ache or constipated or diarrhea or any of those other nasty things, belching and that thing that guys do. I won't say what it is, but y'all know. Everybody's husband does it, but the wives don't. Anyway, it's just a great thing. And I encourage you to get on the program, do the program, and, you know, in the meantime, don't forget about what you got in the business to get. You know, maybe you got in to get healthy, or maybe you got in to make some money so you can retire from your job and be free and do whatever you want to do every day of the week, not just weekends. But it's fun. It's fun. We've probably camped more this year than we have in the 40 years we've been married. I can't believe we've been married for 40 years. That seems like such a long time. And we should be old, but we're not. I don't know why not, but we're not old. Are you old?
Not yet. Tomorrow, maybe.
Oh, you're so bad. Anyway, you know, we just really want to encourage you guys to build your business and do what you need to do. Sacrifice where you need to sacrifice, because the rewards will come and they'll be so abundant that you won't even know what to do. You know, sometimes I look at our bank account and think, oh gosh, what could I spend all this money on? Because you got to spend it somewhere. You can't take it with you. But with that, I think I'm going to turn it over to Jan.
Well, the one thing I want to do is I got some text here. Is our audio coming in okay, Rob? Thumbs up? Okay. I hope it is. I got a text from Brent Ham and a few other people. Rob come up here about a week ago. Nice guy. Come up here and bought his daughter a new car. And anyway, we had some talking, and he asked us if we wanted to join in on this Zoom. And I thought, heck yeah, you know, if there's anything we can do. And that's the thing about this business. If you're asked to do something, do it. I am not the best speaker in the world, that's for sure. I'm an old construction worker, but this is the one thing I want to get across. Everything that I talked to you guys about tonight, I want you to understand. I don't care where you come from. I don't care, you know, how confident you are. You think, well, I'm not a public speaker. I'm not this or I'm not that. Forget all of that. I was the roughest, hardest. I probably shouldn't be here, but I seen the freedom that people had that Ken Horak was talking about. And I thought, gosh, could that be a possibility? Could somebody really obtain that? And you know what? We went to work and just depended, you know, like this depended on us. And we just took charge and we had a good system. And anyway, make a long story short, we've had about 30 years of freedom. But I jotted down here 10 things that could really get your business moving fast. And so I'm going to run through these pretty quick because we don't have that much time. In fact, I'm going to look at my clock here. Okay. To get moving faster, I'm going to give these 10 things. And number one is do at least 15 PTOs or get-togethers a month. Okay. Now, I can tell you this right here. These get-togethers, it's blowing my mind of how fast the volume is coming up on the people that are doing these get-togethers. That's a hard one. I keep thinking get-togethers, but they're get-togethers. But I'd like to get numbers. I like to get statistics. And I know so far, all the people that are doing them, if you have 5 people over, you don't want a lot of people over, but have 5 people over so it's a little more intimate and stuff. 2 people sign up and the other people order. So make a long story short, all 5 people give you volume that come to your meeting. And it's hard for me to give you the passion that we've seen, because when you're around people, that this has helped. And I want to be the first to tell you, I don't have any gut problems. And so to me, it was hard to relate to some of these people that got emotional about the product, because I'm always, hey, let's make some money and, you know, take a trip, go camp and do something fun. And it's blowing my mind at what's happening with the volume because of these get-togethers. Now, I can tell you this. Showing the plan is really, really important. And the thing of it is they've got this contact. First of all, you want to get on the Boss app. But second of all, you want to get on there and you want to get the content out of here. And number one is the ultimate contact. If you're going to go out there and show the plan, you want to qualify the people that you're showing the presentation to. And so what you want to do is you want to go on the Boss app and watch Justin Jacobs go through this ultimate contact. It's so simple, it's so easy, and you do this with your support team. You go a little bit back and forth. You just watch this video that he does, because he simplifies it so much that it's ridiculously simple. And the people you go show the presentation to, the majority of them are going to get in because you're going to qualify them all. And it explains everything. But I've got the formula if everybody did this simple little formula, you would be, number one, financially independent in the next couple of years, and number two, you'd have freedom that would be beyond. Listen to this very carefully and write it down. Contact 2 people a day and have 10 in play. And that is the most simplest, easiest way I can find, because if you are like me and you're not probably the most relatable person in, you know, the world, when I got in, like I said, I had to learn the English language again. But if I did just that, the momentum from doing that, because I can tell you early on, there's people like the West Valley fire chief and stuff that says, oh, thanks for doing the presentation over here tonight, Jan, but I'll take over from here. Now, at first I was embarrassed. And then after that, I thought, oh, wow, that became a multi-million-dollar channel. So anyway, put me on a lot of fishing trips. You don't have to be that polished is what I'm saying. Okay, number 2, are you listening to an audio every day? Belief, you guys, is everything. You're going to go so much faster with knowledge and belief. And if you believe in something, you are going to go out there and you are going to kick butt and listen to an audio a day. Number 3, go to events. We got the regional coming up. That's going to be the very next thing. And the regional is in Salt Lake City. And I can tell you, it's going to be worth every nickel that you spend on. It costs $80 to go to it. And it's going to be the 6th and 7th of October. And for anybody on here that, you know, is on the East Coast, there's going to be one Eastern Regional in Niagara Falls. And that is going to be next weekend, I guess, the 15th and 16th of September. That is really important. Either one of those, be there. Be there, be square. By the way, Rob Terrell will be speaking. I know he's speaking in Niagara. I'm sure he's speaking in Salt Lake City also. Tyler Libby is going to be the one that, well, Tyler put the whole Niagara deal together. Tyler's on here anyway. He'll tell you about that. And Randy and Val will be there. So you got some of the most powerful people in the business that's going to be Niagara Falls and also here in Salt Lake City. Now, just for a little thing here on number 3, I don't want to leave this out, because when we got in this business, when we first started, I can tell you this, we were broke. We didn't get in here because, you know, we were making an abundance of money and stuff like that. We got in because it was probably a downtime in our life, and we made some good money in the past before that. But it was one of them times that, you know, we had a business failure and stuff like that. And I thought, you know what? If we can do this business with what it costs to start it, because we paid tens of thousands of dollars to start our other business that went down on us, and this is the one that gave us freedom. And when we went to Washington, D.C., was the first place we went to one of these regionals, and I can tell you this, if it hadn't have been for that, we went there with a brown bag lunch. We had no money. It was, in fact, my wife, you know, she was going to kill me just because I told them I was going to go. But we went, and she has been nothing but happy ever since, because she can shop till she drops and stuff like that. Okay, number 4, what are you going to become? How are you going to become more effective? Okay, if you're around people, does your passion and enthusiasm move people? And I'll tell you what, if you don't believe in what you're doing, and that's why I said about the audio a day, if your passion and enthusiasm doesn't move people, you got to get passion. And how are you going to do this? Read books. No matter what it takes. Hey, when I come in here, I wasn't the best reader. The only thing I could read was Blueprint. Okay, I wasn't very good at reading. In fact, I think I read 2 or 3 books all the time I was at school. I was very slow at it. But I started reading like crazy, because they told me I was very unpeople relatable. I don't know if you can, anyway. There's probably some people out there listening to this right now or watching it that's probably in the same category. But I read this book called How to Win Friends and Influence People. And I can tell you, when I got done with that book, it was a revelation to me.
How many times did you read it?
I read it every 6 months for probably 2 or 3 years. Because see, after I got done reading, my support team, I said, what book should I read next? And they handed me the same one back. And I thought, what's up with that? You know? So I just decided, you know what, I'm going to read this book every 6 months. And I did. And I could almost got it memorized. But there's this other book that you could eat like a hot dog. It's so thin, it's unbelievable. It's called Skill with People. And I love this book. You can sit down in an hour and go through this book. The slowest reader that's on this video could read this book in an hour. And I can tell you on the very first page, it tells me this. It says, the person that you're going in to see is 10,000 times more interested in them than they are in you or me. And every time I had that book right on the side of me on my car seat, and before I ever entered a house, I had to read that, because it wasn't that I was an over talker. It's just that I was not very good at talking about them. I always talked about me. And remember, take the I, me, my out of your language, and I'll tell you, all of a sudden, it's like a miracle. Things will explode. So Skill with People. And my favorite book in the whole world is a book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, because it made me understand what is passion, what is desire, you know, what is faith? Do you have faith in what you're doing? And read. That's what I'm telling you. Read no matter what. It gives you the belief. It gives you the motivation. It gives you the focus on what to do. And it takes you back to plan, do, check, and adjust. Everything you do, plan your week, plan your month, then do it. If it isn't working the way you want it to work, then adjust it. Check and adjust it. Real simple stuff here. Everything I'm telling you here is like the KISS theory. Keep it simple. Number 5, how do you rate as a student? Are you absorbing stuff? Did you know, one thing I had to learn after sort of beating my head against the wall for the first 6 months to a year and working in something like this. I've never sold anything in my life. I've just really never had to work around people other than being a ramrod. And that isn't what you want to do here. So to become more relatable and stuff, I would say boss system. The boss system is the best thing that you can get your, it's our school, it's our system. And I can tell you this, audio is unlimited. You know how you go buy a CD or something like that, and it's, I don't even know how much CDs are today. I guess I'm really outdated because I even said the word CD. Everybody uses, electronic stuff. But I can tell you this, it's unlimited. You can listen to all the audios you want, videos, you can send them to people. It's just unlimited. And there's a couple of them here that I wanted to talk about. And one of them is Tyler Libby's 21 Days. This 21 days it's a revelation that if you can discipline yourself for 21 days to do anything, you have now created a new habit. And we live, our success, our failure, whatever we do, is the habits that we have established at this point in time. I will tell you this without telling you any more about that 21 days. Listen to it. Get it, listen to it. There's another one on here that says, Tell Your Heart to Beat Again by Rob Terrell. And I love this because, see, I've seen Rob, he had millions of dollars in real estate. I mean, he had, he called me one time and he says, you want to go down to Cabo and fly you down in the King Air? I mean, they were in high cotton, make a long story short. And when he got in again in this business, he didn't do anything right off the bat. It was a little while, and you might have people like that. That might even be you, that you're just haven't just gone out there and kicked this thing off and gone crazy with it. But the bottom line is, he did. He got going. He's seen that, you know what, if I ever have freedom, I've got to get to a point that I don't have to have, I don't care how big a corporate guy you are or whatever. Rob's lived a nice lifestyle no matter what he's done. He's faced more adversity than anybody I know. But I can tell you this, go to school, get on the boss app. Very, very important to listen to an audio every day. Number 6 is your best relationship with your support team or your downline. Now, saying that, I'm going to say this. Some of the people that are on here, Carrie and Vicki Buttinger is your support team. I know they did the last BDS there in Phoenix. I know Carrie and Vicki really good. We just got to spend some time with them in Cancun here a little while back. And it's because of their leadership and their ability to what they're out there kicking some butt. And know this, you guys, Carrie's dealing with some pretty heavy health issues. I mean, and I probably shouldn't say this. Well, maybe I won't. He's got cancer and stuff, and that's a tough one. And I've never seen anybody more uplifting and fired up, and for what he's dealing with, it blows my socks off. And the same thing with Jeff and Judy Ward. They're just, gosh, these guys, Jeff reminds me of the Duracell bunny. I have never seen him mad. I've seen him deal with things that would really piss me off, but never does him. He just like, blows it off and onward and forward. We're going forward because these guys know where they're going. They know where they're going, and they know they're going to get there and kick butt, make a long story short. Tyler and Debbie Libby, you know, your support team there, I'm telling you, they've been free for over 35 years and financially independent, got his own airplane, his hunting camp, go on and on and on about Tyler. And guess what? We get these guys, no cost. Never, when I went into the drywall business years ago, and there wasn't one person that did anything to help me go forward with my business. And just think, if I went across the street and there's another, you know, a contractor over there, and I asked him, well, what are the things that make you so successful? Do you think they're going to tell me all the ins and outs and the wisdom and everything they've gained to that point? No way. Everybody that I've just talked about is going to do everything in their power to help you. All you got to do is go out, get started, get rolling, and I'll tell you what, you have got a big well to dip from as far as leadership and help in what you're doing. Information, unbelievable. Number 7, what leader have you identified in each channel? When you're going down in those channels, number 1, make sure, you know, get 3 and find somebody that is active, doing something, showing 15 PTOs or get-togethers at least a month, and identify those leaders and go help them. And you know what? It might be they might just need some encouragement. I can tell you this, the only thing, Rob flies up here more and does stuff up here than I've been down there ever, but hey, he's a leader, man. He takes charge and makes things happen, and he makes a lot of money, make a long story short. He does good. Number 8. Number 8 is, do people feel better after they are with you because you empowered them? Now, I'm going to tell you this right here. When you read How to Win Friends and Influence People, you read Skill with People, you're going to find out over and over again. And remember, I told you, contact 2 people a day, have 10 in plate. Very, very simple thing. I'm going to tell you something else here. If you will do this, things will rock for you. Make a long story short. Everybody you see, you just have a little sign that you see on their head that says MMFI. And what that is make me feel important. When you make people feel important and you uplift them, I'll tell you what, I have never been around ever, and when I'm talking about Carrie and Vicki and
Jeff and Judy.
Huh?
Jeff and Judy.
And Jeff and Judy. Brain damage there. Anyway, when I'm talking about Jeff and Judy and Carrie and Vicki, I have never, ever been around them, not even when they've had situations hit them, not even when a health challenge or, you know, somebody licked the red off their candy. They've always been uplifting and positive, and they don't even need to me. I'm the one that they should come to, and complain, but they don't. They're always got a smile on their face, and they're always lifting people up. Number 9, is your appearance relatable? when people see you, are you repelling them or are you drawing them to you? When, you know, we only have 5 seconds to make a first impression. And the one thing you want to do, and I'm not telling you how to dress, I'm just telling you, look sharp. You know, when they look at you, they'll be like, they're not saying, oh, those are old holy Levi's, or, you know what I'm saying? Look sharp, and so you can move on with your presentation or whatever you're going to do with the people, but make sure your appearance looks good, to make a long story short. Look as sharp as you can. And believe you me, when I first got in here and stuff, I thought I looked sharp. I had an old, what was it, an old leisure suit.
Yeah, polyester suit.
You seen John Travolta in Grease.
So it was angel flight pants with the bells on the bottom of them.
It's the only suit I ever had, and I really extended myself because I thought, man, this suit looks good. If any of you ever seen Napoleon Dynamite, he went down to the, what do you call it?
Goodwill store.
The Goodwill store and bought a suit. That's the way I felt. Even though my suit was new, it was so outdated. It was unbelievable. Ask your wife. That's the best thing you can do, is ask your wife, do I look good? And number 10, if everybody on your team was doing exactly what you're doing, what would it look like? And with that, I tell you this, tomorrow's a new day. It's a fresh start for you and for me, because I have my hiccups in my days, I'll guarantee you. But I always know, hey, tomorrow's a new day. I can start fresh. I can get a new attitude. I can pick up a book and read it, and just, you know, it changes my world. So with that, hey, we really enjoyed being with you, and back to you, Rob.
Hey, Jan and Raelene, thank you guys so much. And you know, Gold Executive Jan and Raelene, and I, over the summer, I've been calling those guys and talking to them, and I try to keep posted with Jan on a regular basis because, number one, he encourages me. He believes in me. He gives me that uplift that I need. You know, when you need a little extra edge, you know, I call my support team, and I call Jan, and doggone, he was camping all summer. I couldn't find him. So, but I'm sure glad that he did some camping and had some fun, because you know what? It motivates the socks off of me to get where those guys are. And so I hope you guys appreciate Jan and Raelene and them being with us tonight as much as I do, because I promise you, you know, the greatest thing we ever get in this business, yeah, there's money and our products are unbelievable, but the greatest thing you ever get is relationships that go so much further in depth than what anybody really understands. And that, to me, is what it's all about. And so just excited that they're here with us, and great information. I was taking notes. I almost lost track of what I was supposed to do because I was taking notes, Jan. But what I'm going to do now, I'm going to unmute Tyler. We've got another speaker for you guys tonight. And Tyler and Deb are legends. They go way, way back. I remember maybe one of the first times I met Tyler, we decided we were somewhere in New York. I think we went to a Broadway play. And Tyler, we all came out of the play, and Tyler said, hey, you're walking back to the hotel with me. And it was Tyler and Gary, and there were several guys. And I didn't know them very well at that time. And I thought, okay, I'm with you guys. And I remember, I'll never forget the walk back, just spending that time with those guys and listening to their perspective. And you know what? It's been really huge, because it's carried me to this day, understanding that, you know what? You guys, I promise you, everyone that's on this call right now, you're not dreaming big enough. I promise you, you're not. And I know, because I'm working every day at trying to dream bigger and think bigger. And you're not dreaming big enough. And that's why I love spending time with Jan and Raelene and Randy and Val and Tyler and Deb and Gary and Judy, because they force me to dream bigger. And I know Tyler's got some neat stuff to share with you tonight. So I'm going to turn this over to Gold Executive Tyler Libby, and I'm going to put the hosting to him, because I think he's going to show you some really neat stuff tonight too. Tyler, are you there? Can you hear me?
Well, can you hear me is the question.
You are now the host, Tyler.
Okay, and you can hear me all right?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. I think everyone can do great. So
Beautiful. I love the technology, man. I'm high-tech stuff here. Okay. First of all, let me just love you guys out there. Let me just give you a heads up, though. We had a men's leadership here. We had, 10 guys here all day. And we've been out doing stuff on the lake. A little bit different weather here than it is there. What'd you say it is? 52 degrees right now. And we got the fire cranking upstairs, and it got so hot up there we had to come down here to my bedroom. Okay. And so anyway, we've been doing things like this lake. We have something called motor docking. Nobody else in the world does this. Okay. You put a motor on your dock, and you load up a wet bar and throw on a grill, and you just go out and tool around the lake. It's insanity. Okay. We went up, forgive me for not looking sharp, but we went up and we did some shooting. Oh, you'd appreciate that, Rob. We took some of these guys that never shot a gun before. So I was up there with the little purse guns here that I've been carrying all year. And we were up, shot and killed a lot of trees and stuff today. And one of the things, when I shoot, I love this favorite t-shirt. I don't know if you can read that, but it's my favorite t-shirt of all times. Okay, it says, it's not who is going to let me, it's who's going to stop me, which is, that's one reason you carry it like that, okay? And so anyway, life's sweet. I just want to start this thing out by saying, I have never had a better summer. And I'm going to say the number one thing that made my summer great is we spent the summer here at our cottage in New Hampshire, just south of the White Mountains in real hilly, what you guys, you call it, what? Sort of mountainous country. Yeah. And just crystal clear lakes and just one of the most beautiful places in the world. But in the past, we'd spend all summer here, but I'd have to go jump on a plane, go out to Arizona and whatever. But I just actually set up a little studio here. And I was going to show you a picture of where my studio exists, where it is. Okay, look at the technology, how fast I am with this, okay? But when I say, just a minute, going to find it, okay? This is actually, that's where we are right now. The first floor is one great big master bedroom, okay? And that's where I'm sitting right now with all these guys, okay? Now, how do I get out of there and get back? How do I get back to another picture? I see it. Matter of fact, here's my little studio I set up this summer. That's me inside the bedroom. You can see my camera sitting over there. And how do I get out of this? I got a tech guys here, okay? And then I got to do some other pictures here somewhere, iCloud Drive. This is pretty impressive stuff. I can do this, okay? But anyway, one of the things that happened this summer, I'm sitting here, and my plane is right there on the dock, and all of a sudden I see this big double rainbow. Now, I don't know how many of you that have ever gone out and chased rainbows. You can see my plane there. But if you chase a rainbow with an airplane, a rainbow, number one, isn't a half a circle. It's a what do you call it? A halo, and it goes all the way around. Once you get up and start going toward the rainbow, all of a sudden it's around you. And as you go into the thunderstorm or whatever kind of storm it was, this one happened to be a thunderstorm, you get into the edge, and all of a sudden you break through that double halo, and all of a sudden it just rainbow starts going everywhere. Okay, we call it chasing rainbows. Well, I did this, and my 4-year-old granddaughter was back on the dock crying and crying. She was just going nuts. So, okay, and I felt so bad when I got back to see how distraught she was. So I threw her in the back of the plane, okay? Debbie took a picture of me. There she is. We went out. We had to fly about 30 miles to catch that darn gone thunderstorm. But we got there, and I got to show it to her too, okay? That's a kind of insanity of things that you can do when you're free. Okay, now across this lake, I'm trying to speak fast, forgive me. But on the other side of this lake we're on, there's a place where back when I was 33 years old, in a precursor to this business, Debbie and I had become financially free. In our first summer, we went over and rented a cottage on this lake out on a peninsula. And all I did was read books on economics, watch my kids grow up. And back then I smoked cigarettes. So I smoked cigarettes and drank coffee, okay? Just thoroughly enjoyed life, okay? And so I just want to, I'm not even sure where I'm going with all this, okay? I just want you to suggest that freedom can be the most exciting darn thing you ever want to imagine. Not because you're a billionaire. Now, Debbie and I are mild millionaires, okay, and have been for many, many years. I don't say that to brag. I say that to say we have enough money, so if the urge hits us to go to China tomorrow, we can, okay? Like 2 months ago, I guess it was 3 months ago, I saw this big spectacular deal on the total eclipse of the sun. Well, we have a distributor, okay, who's one of the bigger boat dealers in the country. So I called Bill up. I said, Bill, what? And he's my motorcycle buddy. We motored every mile I put on major trips. Bill's always been with me. So I called him up. I said, why don't we take motorcycles down to South Carolina, you know, down to Myrtle Beach and see the eclipse. And he said, okay. So we rented motorcycles down there, flew down to you know, Myrtle Beach. And then we get down there and everybody said, hey, at the epicenter, these roads are going to be so gummed up, you're not going to be able to get there. Okay. So then Bill, being a, you know, he's a captain, any ship, any sea kind of guy. So he rented us a tri-haul and we went 71 miles down the intercoastal. Okay. And then to the very epicenter, and then found a dead end channel that went out to the ocean. You couldn't get into the ocean, but you could get out where the surf was breaking over. We thought we were all alone, the perfect place in the world to watch the solar eclipse. About 2 hours before that, about 50 other boats came out to join us. But it still was most incredible. And I'm going to show you a 36-second, if I can do it here, video on what it looks like when you're at the epicenter. Why is that so loud? Low. Okay, now how do I get out of it? Get done. I have no idea what I. All right, did you see that? Did that come across, Rob?
Tyler, all I saw was a blank screen. I'm not sure what everybody else saw. Right at the end, but just before you got out of it, Tyler, there was a little arrow to click for the movie to show. So maybe, I don't know, all we saw was a blank screen, so we didn't get to see it.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'll move on. I just to describe it a little bit, okay, it got pretty darn gone dark. And the first thing that happened, every bird, we were on a big beach, every gull, every bird just went crazy and went up and acted like they were going insane. And it was a once in a lifetime experience. I'm going to go to the next one. The next one's going to up at Libby camps in northern Maine. The next one in 2024 is going right over there. So I'll be seeing another one. Okay. But it was just a spectacular. Okay. And anyway, the whole point I'm getting at is this whole concept of having Zoom has freed us up. That's not to subtract from belly to belly or eyeball to eyeball, whatever time that we spend together. That's why we've had 10 guys in here today spending time together. That's still just as important. But it allows us, just for example, I did a meeting not long ago, okay, where we were showing people in Maryland, Alaska, Texas, and Edmonton, Canada, with a guy out of, well, you'll meet him, okay? He's out of Southern California. He may be on here right now. But all of a sudden, you can move all over the world without moving. And it is sweet to be able to spend the summer here. Debbie would just say, hey, when do you have Zooms today? And I said, well, I've got one at 2 and one at 7. So the rest of the time, we could motor dock, climb mountains, or whatever, okay? Anyway, real quick. First of all, I'll give you a disclaimer. If I say anything that's unlike what Rob is teaching you, you follow what Rob is telling you. But I just want to go through the steps. The number one thing, and I know most of your people, Rob, are just like mine. Most people don't do the number one thing that you have to do, and that is just to figure out why you're doing it, okay? The old thought that if the dream's big enough, the facts don't count, that's true. And to prove that to people, when I show the plan every night, I always ask the same question. I'll say, okay, do you have a daughter? You say, yeah, you have a daughter. I say, okay, if I put a plank down from this side of the wall to that side of the wall over there and said, here's a $100 bill, walk it, would you do it? Everybody says yes. I say, move that plank 1,000 feet up in the air, put it between two buildings. Okay, same plank, okay, same $100 bill, would you do it? They all say no. I say, okay, your daughter, Melissa, okay, is on the other side. You're 1,000 feet in the air and somebody's got a knife to her throat. Would you do it? Everybody says yes. And what that proves what they become is they become target focused, which means there's no way in the world, okay, there's just absolutely no way in the world that they're not going to be able to, they're not going to fall. They can't fall, if you know what I'm saying, okay? So I'm encouraging every one of you that are listening in right now, okay, develop a vision statement like Debbie and I did back in 1976. We just came up, I wanted a place in the lake where I could tie my float plane to my coffee table. The coffee table's right in back of me, okay? All of these things came true because we set out to do it. I wanted to send the kids to the colleges of their choice, and on and on and on. We set up such a vision statement that for 4 or 5 years, while I was getting my freedom, I was so excited every night I couldn't sleep. I would lay there all night with a grin on my face, just couldn't wait to get up and get it on. Even though I didn't like what I was doing, I knew what I wanted to do and where I wanted to go, okay? So anyway, imagine your life just for a second if you had a bucket list of thousands of things and you knew you could get them. Your life would be instantly greater before you ever got any of those things, okay? And I'm just going to ask you maybe a rhetorical question. If we all know that, and if we know those dreams, okay, would make our life better now, anticipating those things, why don't we do it? And the answer, Jan hit on, okay, it isn't because we're lazy. We're uninspired maybe, but not lazy. The reason we don't, okay, is we don't believe, okay? And I'm here tonight, and I just want to convince you of a couple things. Number one, belief is a choice. I don't care if you want to believe in a particular religion, let's say Christianity, you choose to do it before you believe it. You make a decision to do it, okay? And then once you decide you're going to believe in a religion or this business, doesn't make any difference what it is, then once you've made that choice, then all of a sudden your life lays out, you know intuitively what you have to do. Number one thing you have to do, okay, like since 1976, I only hang around with believers. You get all negative on me, you'll find me disappearing, okay? And I know that if I've got a bunch of people here that happen to be strong Christians in the room with me right now, you know darn well, if you get somebody that's non-believer and they're always hounding you because you guys are Christian, you're going to not hang with them anymore, okay? So the number one thing you're going to be doing, okay, is hang with people that have the belief so that you can overcome those negative thoughts that you have about yourself. It might be self-image, okay? Or it might just be fighting that too good to be true thing. Now, there's an audio one. I'm not, just so I cut this talk short, there's an audio on there that I did that I really put a lot of work in. It's called Values and Expectations, okay? But listen to it and then decide you're going to hang with people that have belief. Like, I hate the desert. Don't tell Randy Haugen that, okay? I go to the desert with Randy. Why? Because that's where Randy is, okay? I know, I don't know if you like killing stuff. But if you want to get around Rob, okay, you better get a gun and go shoot stuff, right? Rob even goes out in the desert and shoots stuff, for Pete's sake, okay? So attend every function, watch every Zoom, read every book. The book I'm fired up right now is Pitch Anything. That's not for new people, okay? But read, I read off the books I was reading to these guys. What, it might be 15 books I'm reading right now at one time, okay? Live in the Boss app. I don't care what you have to spend to get the Boss app and get so you use it every day. I have it on Bluetooth in my car, and then I bought this nifty little $150 Bluetooth thing here. I can listen to Boss anytime I want, just by the phone just has to be in my room with me. Just hit the button, and if you live in the Boss thing, okay, you're gonna be successful. Now, just while we're talking about that, Jimmy Odom has an audio on there, the audio of the month. You've got to listen to that sucker. Listen to it over and over and over again, okay? I listened to it coming over here. I listened to it last night, okay? Oh, boy, I'm running out of time. Time's flying by here. I got so much I want to talk about. But anyway, until you have enough belief of your own, okay, what I want you to do is promise me that you use Upline every time. Understand, picture this. Let's just say your mom, you just found out that your mom has $10 million waiting for her, but it's 5 miles away and she's going to have to get down on her belly and crawl there. If you really know it's there and you've seen it, all of a sudden you start treating your mom with disrespect, because now you're going to look at your mom and you're going to say, Mom, get down in your belly now. Get down there. I'll lead the way. I'll make sure cars won't run over you. Why? Because you know it's there and you know what it can do for her. Okay? So until you have belief of your own, rely on your upline. I had somebody, an hour ago in New York City, a guy named Steve. He doesn't have the belief level yet. He had just shown the plan. The guy was interested, so he calls me. All I did, you guys heard me, I talked about 3 minutes. I had a bunch of guys here. I just said, hey, Steve knows what he's talking about. He hasn't succeeded yet at this, but he's getting it going. He knows what he's talking about, and he's going to be huge. If you follow him, you're going to be making some big bucks, guy. Okay, all I did was edify and build up him so that he didn't have to try to do it himself. Okay, and that was it. 3 minutes, we sponsored somebody. Okay, how do you build a business? Really quickly, 4 steps. And Rob, you're going to be on. You're going to be talking last, so you correct them. Okay. Number 1, you make a list, 10 names. Okay. I tell people if you really want to feel like you cheated, then make as many of those 10 as you can the heads of a category. In other words, the most respected guy in your family, maybe, or the old football team you used to play for when you played at Arizona State or whatever. Okay, you pick the people in each category. You know, church. Who's everybody look up to in church? If you come up with those kind of categories, you're going to feel like you really, really cheated when you do, because you only need a couple of those, and you have domino effect. You get the ex-captain of the football team, and all of a sudden the rest of the team flows in with him. Okay. Number 2, context. We don't have to talk about that a lot because Jimmy Odom has the best talk I've ever heard on it. That's that talk that I forget the name of it, but it's one of the top 4 audios of the month this month. Just remember, it's text, text, and text. It's so simple, okay? Text, what's up, Joe? And he gets back, why? What's happening? You text back, are you open to making money right now? He gets back, they always say something similar. Why is this legal? Too much to text. When's a good time to talk? Okay? He says, takes a 2 or 3 minute phone call. He says, how about tomorrow night? You say 7 work, 7 o'clock next night. Make sure somebody who has the belief. Rob or Jeff, okay, or Jerry, whoever it is, somebody who has the belief, make sure they're available to bring into a 3-way call. And then when you call this person up, chit chat for just a second, and then here's how I like to see people do it. Just simply say, hey, I'd like to bring, if it's Rob, I'd like to bring Rob, a friend of mine, a trusted friend named Rob, into this call. He can do in 2 minutes what takes me 20 to do. Would that be all right with you? They'll say yes if you ask them. And then bring Rob in and let Rob, who has the belief, book whatever it is, the Zoom or whatever, okay? Now, the show and the plan, just real quickly, 3 things you have to accomplish, okay? The one little thing I differ from Jimmy on, and it's very small, okay? The first thing you go in there, your intent when you go in to show this business or when you Zoom people, your intention is to make a friend. And believe me, if you're looking somebody in the eye and you're saying, I'm trying to become this guy's friend, they sense it. If they sense you're trying to become your friend, they all of a sudden tolerate just about anything from you. Your goal is to try to make a friend, find out what the money would do for them. And thirdly, okay, convince them they can do it with the support team, particularly with the support team you have, okay? That Pitch Anything, okay, book that I was promoting earlier, really talks about posture. But Jimmy reminded me something today when I listened to that talk of his. Back in 1977, I heard somebody say, never make a phone call, or back then we didn't have text. Never make a phone call and never talk to people about the business unless you say, the first thing you say is, I can't promise you anything. Well, when I first started saying that, it was awkward. But all of a sudden, I'd pick up the phone and I'd say, hey, Howard, I can't promise you anything. And you set the posture, the first frame right, just by doing that. And I did it every time, and it worked to this day, okay? Okay, I'm going to skip this. This was really good stuff, but I don't want to give all the good stuff out at one time. Now, what's that saying? I just heard the other day, you heard about this Hurricane Harvey, how much water, 20 trillion gallons of water dumped on Texas, or down that area. 20 trillion. Do you realize that's a national debt? Just thought I'd bring that up. All right. Hey, Recently, I had a question. This is one of the important things I want to talk to you about. This is important. People are saying, do we focus on products or the gut thing? Okay. Or do we, by the way, we ate enough food today to generate volume in the gut deal. Okay. We've had the grill going all day long. Okay. Do we focus on product or do we focus on business and the dream? Listen carefully to me. Okay. In the end, Rob can tell you this. In the end, if you ask me, what do you own? The answer to that question is you own loyalty. That's all you end up owning. Okay. Rob's nodding his head there. So if you get people involved in product and they love the product and they are loyal to the product, they will be loyal to that product until something comes along that's better than that product, or someone comes along with a product that's not as good, but they have a better story to tell. Now, does that mean you don't go after and do gut meetings? No, that doesn't say that at all. But think about this, contrast it with if people are loyal to the community and you have a tight-knit band of brothers like Rob is putting together there in Phoenix, okay, and sisters, excuse me, okay, if you have a tight-knit community that loves each other, that watches each other's back, okay, which one do you think has the most lasting value? And you could just answer that yourself, okay? So simply putting my statement and saying it all, never, 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 never miss the hoss, the performer. Never miss the Rob Terrells or Randy Haugens or Gary Libby's or Jan Hayballs, okay? If you miss them, you're committing suicide. You're taking your nifty gun here. I'm not going to put it in my head, but just show you I really have one here, just in case anybody gives me a hard time. Okay, as long as you're doing the things to assure you don't miss the hoss, you're all right, okay? Now, I got a story to tell you, just a side story, okay? Several years ago, I was up at Libby camps, and to get out of Libby camps, you have to fly. So I had my plane there, and I was quite in a hurry, so I thought I had plenty of gas and everything, so I only had to fly about 60 miles or so. Anyway, I jumped the plane, I was flying for Libby camps, I was a little more than that, 96 miles, forgive me. And I get flying, okay, and the headwind's 30, 40 miles an hour. Next thing you know, I'm getting really, really down on fuel, okay? Next thing you know, at 10 miles out, all of a sudden, the engine stops, okay? I'm out of gas, okay? And anyway, that made me, by the way, Rob, you'll appreciate this. I really became appreciative of the whole aviator class, all of the pilots and everything. I put out a Mayday call, and almost immediately a KLM flight, a Dutch Airlines flight overhead at 30,000 feet, patched me in the Boston radio. Okay. Immediately, I had somebody call in and say they'd be over the crash site within 5 minutes. Okay. Every pilot up there came piling in to help me. Okay. And anyway, here I sat, I looked down, there was no place to land. There were no ponds, there were no roads, there were no fields. All I could see down below me was a huge swamp that went forever in every direction. And they had these trees about the size of your wrist or your arm sticking up at me. Now, if you know anything about crash landing, if you go into pine trees, Rob knows this, just aim yourself between the pine trees, the wings get clipped off, you're okay. But when you get this kind of stuff, it's like looking down at daggers looking at you. There's no good way out of this, okay? All you could do is just simply pray, okay? But anyway, the other thing I want to talk about is the fact that folks, okay, everybody in America right now needs something. People are scared. They're saying right now that people that are in college, okay, there's a thing called singularity. IBM says that man's knowledge is doubling every 13 months. So let that sink in. They're saying right now that the average person that's in college is going to have 11, not jobs now, 11 to 12 different career changes. That's a scary time, guys. All the jobs have disappeared. One of my best friends, a guy named Kelly Garcia, you saw him all over the news probably. He's vice president of Domino's. Guess what they're doing? Domino's in Michigan right now has automatic delivery, nobody in the car delivery, okay? Tesla's coming out with trucks right now that don't need drivers. The malls, according to LA Times, 25% of the malls are going to be closed in 5 years. all of them will be gone in 20, okay? So what's left? If you don't have an IQ of 160 in the tech world, okay, and you're not with Amazon or Walmart, you're going to have to be in something like what we are. We have a niche market where we have loyal community of purchaser and buyers, okay? You've got the best of everything out there. I'm trying to skip through here, guys. I know most of your leaders. I know Rob and Steph, Carrie and Vicky, okay, Jeff and Judy, Brent and Sonny. Okay, matter of fact, I've eaten her, what do you call them, flatbreads, okay, at her house and everything. But you've got a team, a band of brothers there that I would literally, guys, I would hit the beaches of Normandy with. You've got the best of the best, okay? Now, I'm skipping through, I know subjects real fast, but I'm trying to get myself back on time here. I got off, okay. If I run 5 minutes over, I'm asking forgiveness all before we get there, okay? What's success look like? And I just want to describe it, okay? What's going to happen is you're going to work your butt off, okay, typically, and you're going to work your butt off until you have 3 to 5 band of brothers that stuck together. You get past the point where the summer soldiers have died and gone, they're going to die and leave anyway. And all of a sudden, you're going to be sitting there with 3, 4, 5 people. And you're going to feel really good, but you're going to be a little bit discouraged. And then you're going to stumble on a spark, okay? Rob, I want you nodding your head if you believe this, okay? You're going to, that spark is going to be one guy that has a little credibility, that believes you, that opens up his brand new list of 100 people, and you've got 3 to 5 people who are willing to jump on that sucker. And because he's got credibility, he's got a big list, all of a sudden, next thing you know, his or her, okay, that group is just going to explode, okay, and it's going to explode so fast, it will scare you. And you're going to say, I can't believe it's been this easy all along, okay? That's why we use the terminology. Success, okay, happens slowly, then suddenly. That's what it looks like, okay? And I'm going to make this on time if I have to. I might have to leave out my best story here. But anyway, okay, the last thing, okay, I want to do is just challenge you to do one thing, okay? This changed my life, and I'm going to challenge you to do it, the same thing. Reread the book, Compound Effect. If you haven't read it, read it for the first time. And then I want you to go out and start a virtuous cycle. Now, what do I mean by a virtuous cycle? Okay. About 100, about 220 days ago, I got involved with this love your gut or whatever it's called, mean and lean, whatever it is. Okay. I decided to get involved with this, and I looked young, but I was fat and pudgy, right? And so I lost 28 pounds. When I lost 28 pounds, my blood pressure dropped by, looks like now, more like 20, 25 points. My doctor cut my meds in half, okay? My doctor told me I went from 14.7% chance of having a heart attack next 10 years down to 5, okay? I get to the point where I climb mountains all summer with my grandkids. I can beat the 7-year-olds to the top, okay? And I'm 70. Okay, don't tell me that's not that's a huge thing. You get really encouraged about things, so your sponsorship rate goes up. If your sponsorship rate goes up, I noticed today my check went up. Your check goes up, your wife is happier, and all of a sudden you realize, okay, what happened to Sarah when she got pregnant at 9? Okay, you realize that Abraham was having a really, really good virtuous cycle. Everything just gets good, okay? So anyway, I think did I do it? It's 30 minutes. What a pro. 30 minutes. Oh, I forgot to tell you the rest of that story on the airplane, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Okay. Yeah, I was flying along. The engine's dead. I'm going into the bushes. Okay. This is the death sentence. Okay. And I don't know what possessed me to do it, Rob, but I rocked the plane. Okay. It turns out it must be a God thing, because when you rock the plane, there was still some fuel in the fuel cells. The engine restarted. Okay. And I only had about 10 miles to go, and I'm praying, and the engine's sputtering, but keeps going. Next thing you know, I'm within gliding range of the lake, and I call off the Mayday. And again, talk about being proud of those guys that were around, the pilots like your dad was. I'll tell you, it brings tears to my eyes. I said, okay, guys, Boston Radio, I'm done. I'm okay. I'm going to be hitting the water here in a second. They said, no, sir, we're sticking with you until you're on the dock. Anyway, guys, I'm proud of you guys, proud of what you're doing out there. If any of you can make it into Niagara, we'll see you in Niagara. And if there's such a place to be in this business, I'm going to say the perfect storm is here and now. Though we've got the tools, we're still learning what the right amount of belly to belly and Zoom is all about. But I'm telling you, people need it. We have the best thing, best time, and we've got people I never believed were going to make it ever before out there just putting it together successfully. God bless. You have a great and glorious one, guys.
Hey, thanks, Tyler. We sure appreciate you. I've taken the hosting back, so but man, we sure appreciate you, and I love the pictures there. I keep telling you this. I've got to come to Libby camps. I've got to come to the cottage. So at some point, you're just going to have to be stuck with me coming, because I'm coming.
You got it.
But anyway, we sure appreciate you taking your time tonight, and all your guys. We appreciate them sharing you with us, and we know they're going to have a blast. And I'm like you. I started one of those virtuous cycles, and I'm a little behind you. I'm about 20 pounds down now, and you're right. The same thing. It just keeps getting better and better. So. And it turns out to make you just more effective in everything that you do. And so,
hey, Rob, can I interrupt you just for a second?
Yes, go ahead.
The problem with doing it at my age, though, is I started out looking like a chubby young guy for my age, and now I look like an old fart because you lose weight. Anyway.
Well, you know, I have to tell you guys that I have a very close friend, and he's actually in the business, and he just got some really tough medical news about cancer that's invaded his body. And, you know, I've just been in thought process about that. And of course, obviously praying for him, praying for his family. And it's obviously very far advanced. And I'm just thinking about the fact that, you know, we don't know what time we have. And we are so blessed to have the people that we're working with, to have the team that's behind us, to have Abasay, the research they're doing, the product areas, and all the stuff that's going on. And I would just say, you know what, you know, we need to build right now like we don't have tomorrow. And we need to, because there's a lot of people that need us. And so I would just say, guys, the time has never been better. And we've never been in a better position. Tyler, you know, looking back over the years that you've been in, I think on this call, you're probably has the longest longevity of any of us. But in all the time I've been around the business, I've never seen it in the position that it's really in right now. You know, I used to think about the audios that we used to buy every month, and I realized I've got all of that now for $20 a month. On the Boss app. And so everything is just in such a wonderful spot right now for us, for all of us to build. And it really boils down to that belief. And that's what everything we do is about, helping people to believe that they can do it, and it will work for them. And they just need to do the things that we teach and do the things that the system teaches, and then utilize all the support that they have around them. So Tyler, I'll look forward to seeing you in Niagara. I'll be flying in there next Friday. And guys, for everybody tonight, I know that many of you out there have big groups at your home or in a meeting hall or something that you're listening on this on. And for those of you guys that are new pins, possibly, congratulations. For those of you that have got on the clean and lean and lost 10 pounds, congratulations. Keep doing those things. And for those of you guys that are looking at this saying, that's what I need to do, congratulations, because that's the first step, is to think about it and decide to do it. That's the first step. So congratulations for that. And we're going to sign out. We love you guys. We're proud of all of you. And I know all the leaders are going to get back and let me know some details about tonight. And for those of you that are out here in the West, the Team Diamond Tracker, if you haven't got your last tracker sheet into me, get it in, because we're trying to determine the winners that are going to go to Haugen's place. And you know what? I don't know that, you know, they just had a fire that went up the mountain by Randy and Val's house, And if you look at it, it burned right around their house. That should tell you something about God's hand and where it is. But you know what? I don't know if we'll be able to go up to their place or not, but we're going to do something really wonderful. So those of you that don't have your team tracker in, get it in. We love you guys. We're proud of you. We're going to make a lot of things happen. Get to Niagara. Get to Salt Lake City. No matter what it takes, get there for the regionals. And you guys have a wonderful month of September. Let's kick some butt, make some things happen, and let's get this thing going. So we love you guys. We're going to sign out. You guys have a wonderful evening together to finish it off. Good night.